Morning decisions. A creamy mocha frappuccino drink? A sweet vanilla? Maybe a smooth caramel or that white chocolate mocha. Whichever you choose, delicious coffee awaits. Start your day with bottled Starbucks Frappuccino drinks. Pick up a bottle near you wherever you buy your groceries.
Reality radio for a really great future. We're talking real money.
Hey, welcome once again to the podcast. I'm Don McDonald. Thanks for stopping by. And remember, you can call us with your questions anytime at 855-935-TALK, 855-935-8255. Or you can send questions in at talkingrealmoney.com. Just hit the contact form. Oh, and by the way, check out the new videos at talkingrealmoney.com. We've got 4 video classes up there, and we'll be adding more all the time because our goal is to educate you. So today we're going to do something a little different. Tom had a topic that he wanted to discuss, so he is going to take the brunt of today's, probably should say the bulk of today's podcast. He didn't have to take the brunt of it. Well, maybe. So here he is, my co-host, Tom Cock.
Today, I want to take an unusual spin and do an obituary about somebody whose life I think should be celebrated, and the lessons from that life I think can be applied to all of us as investors. And she passed away about 10 days ago or so, and I know some of you are listening to this podcast later. Her name was Gert Boyle, and Gert was the chairwoman of a company called Columbia Sportswear. Now, some of you may be familiar with her because she did these great TV commercials with her son where she'd look down her glasses at him like he was crazy. He'd have these wacky ideas, and she'd have to tell him, no, mom knows best. And frankly, she did. But Gert, this was not an easy thing for her to become the chairwoman of what is now one of the largest, I believe, outerwear sports companies, I hope I said that right, in the country. Gert escaped Nazi Germany. Her family had to leave in the late 30s. She came to the United States, and she got married. She married a man who was ambitious. He was an entrepreneur. He started this company, Columbia Sportswear, which was not much when he passed away unexpectedly, I believe in his 40s. So now Gert has this company. She's got these young kids, and she has to decide what to do. And her instinct was to sell the firm. Now, her husband had taken out loans, so she wasn't going to be left with that much money, and she negotiated a deal. But here's what happened. Along the way, during that negotiation, the party she was selling to, in her words, tried to nickel and dime her, tried to just do things at the edges, and that made her angry. So Gert decided to keep the company, make something out of it, and boy, did she ever. This Portland-based firm has become a juggernaut. Terrific company. And Gert ran it all those years. Now, I know her son was CEO, but she was chair of the board. I got to meet her somewhere around 15 years ago when I hosted a television show called Serious Money. We went to Portland to interview Gert because she was a great personality, larger than life, and because she'd turned this company into something absolutely astounding. And what a great interview it was, and what a great trip, and so impressed with her about her breadth of knowledge, about the way she treated people, and about the way her beliefs. I mean, one of them I love was early to bed, early to rise, work like hell, hope I can say that, and advertise. I always loved that saying, but she had many others. But let's talk about some of the lessons I think you can learn from Gert Boyle, who really ran such a great company. I think lived a great life. I believe she passed away in her 90s. And this is really a life well lived. But here are some of the lessons. First of all, don't give up. Now, Gert obviously had a lot of grit. She was a tough woman. And when she didn't feel the deal was right for her, she said, forget it. I'm sticking with it. I'm going to plow through this. And did she ever? I mean, she turned this into a terrific company. But oftentimes we know as investors, we feel like, I got to do something. The market's moved down. I got to sell. The market's moved up. I got to buy more. Or this strategy doesn't appear to be working right at this moment. I need to move to something else. History has shown that the people that move their money around end up with less. Clearly, I think Gene Fama once said, "In securities are like soap. The more you use them, the less of them there remains." So don't give up. Number 2, be willing to learn. Gert's life, I think you can clearly say, was not designed for her to be running a publicly traded huge company. but she learned along the way. She learned a lot about the business. She learned a lot about dealing with others. She learned a lot about running this firm so very, very well. So I don't think she ever in her life really quit learning. I can clearly remember when I interviewed her, she was working on a new project, and this was late in her life. And number 3, and maybe this is the most important, Gert was really great at calling out, again, I hope I can say this, the BS. And did she ever do that well? I mean, she told people, forget it, you're wrong, this isn't the right approach. She was strong-minded, but she told people when they were absolutely off track that this is what we're going to do to fix it. So those are great lessons because you do need to be willing to learn, and you do need to be willing to say, here's a new idea that does not make sense, because they come along every single day for all of us as investors. So don't give up. Keep learning, call out the BS, and respect the life of a truly great American, an immigrant, a successful entrepreneur, a great woman, Gert Boyle. Saved more for others. And again, some people say legacy is not important. Some say, yes, it is important. But here are what I think are the big takeaways from creating retirement income. Number 1, know what rate of return you need and then build the correct asset allocation based on that and your ability to take risk. Number 2, have a strategy of either rebalancing to create the income or a fixed or variable withdrawal plan. And that brings me to number 3, absolutely critical. Once you have that plan, you need to stick with it. You got a budget, you know how much you can take out. There may be some variables along the way, but you can't vary the amount you're taking out nor the strategy, because that can get you a lot of trouble depending on what's going on in various markets. Retirement income should be a plan, and stick to that plan for long-term success.
I hate to say it, but I didn't even know who she was. So I learned a lot today. I hope you did too. Thanks for being a part of this podcast. Remember, if you have financial questions of any kind, you can always call us at 855-935-TALK. And I mean always, 24/7. Plus, this coming Saturday, what is the date? It's like the something 10th. The 16th of November, we are going to be doing a show live because we're not preempted by football because the football game's on Friday. So give us a call on Saturday, too, at 3 p.m., between 3 and 5 p.m. Eastern, or noon and 2 Pacific time at 855-935-TALK. Also visit us online at talkingrealmoney.com, where you'll find tons of podcasts, lots of great information, videos. You can even set up an appointment with one of our advisors if you've got something a little more complicated you want to talk about. And I promise you, there's no high-pressure sales pitch, and there's no obligation whatsoever. So visit us at talkingrealmoney.com. Send your questions through there, too, and we'll talk again very soon. I'm Don McDonald.
Talking real money. We hope you realize that the information provided on Talking Real Money is for educational and hopefully enjoyable purposes only. Providing personalized financial planning or investing advice takes time, so please consult with a really good fee-only fiduciary investment, tax, or legal advisor. We know a good one. Investing must always involve risk. In other words, you can and probably will lose money at times. Also, as much as you want it, no one can accurately, consistently predict the future. So past performance doesn't tell you a darn thing about what the future will bring. Unlike many other programs that say something similar, Talking Real Money is not trying to get you to buy or sell any financial products or securities. Instead, the program is provided as a public service by Vestry, a fee-only registered investment advisor. Thanks for listening, and please visit talkingrealmoney.com for more information and disclosures. That should keep the lawyers happy.